I'm very real with myself. I like to be very, very realistic. I did not write down on my 2024 goals to get, and I personally don't feel like I'm putting in enough effort yet. While I would, of course, love my dream life right now, I recognize that I'm not even ready to handle my dream life. I was hanging on to this timeline for so long. I just think that everything that happens just on time. We see escapism happening so much in our society today because what is up, beautiful people? Welcome to Diaries and OutKast podcast. I'm your host, J. How are you guys doing today? It is 2025. This is my first upload on the Diaries of OutKast podcast in 2025, and I'm feeling pretty good. Now, before we get into today's topic, which is everything, or not everything, but like the main things that I undoubtedly left in 2024 to honestly just thrive and become a better me, because honestly that's the point of these goals and habits that we create in the new year, right? So I think reflecting on also what you want to bring into the new year, but also what you want to leave behind, what is no longer serving you. But first, if you guys haven't checked out my recent upload on my main YouTube channel at J, please go check that out. It is a video, it's a vlog on a very realistic start to my new year. I will say I didn't have the most productive, the most positive start to the new year. As many of you may know, 2024 was a difficult year for me. And I realized that I honestly had this subconscious fear of addressing what goals I wanted in 2025 because I was fearful and I was afraid that things were going to go wrong. And I had to work through that with myself. And it's also a thing of just realizing like goals are going to take some hard work, right? And so realizing that you're going to have to put your head down sometimes and just do the work is something that you're going to have to come to terms with if you want to reach goals, especially if they're big goals, right? Now, also, if you guys are new to the podcast, or if you aren't, you are here from my main channel because I used to upload my podcast episodes on my main channel. So if you want to check out any earlier episodes, definitely go to my main channel and check those out. I will leave it in the description below. The first thing that I left, not that I'm leaving, it's already 2025. The first thing that I left in 2024, I left behind over consumerism, over consumption, and keeping up with trends, specifically trends that revolve around fashion and self-care products. I feel like in the last couple of years, there has been an influx of like self-care products that have gone on the market. And I feel like not all of these products can be good. I see so many people online with bathroom drawers, multiple drawers filled with self-care, specifically like skincare products, and like anti-aging is very popular right now. First of all, in my head, I'm just like, there's no way you're using all of these products on a day-to-day basis or even a week-to-week basis. Because in my opinion, now everyone is different, everyone has different skin conditions, things like that. I personally think less is more. Now, some people might have, acne medication or creams that they need to put on along with their regular skincare. I totally get that. But the, 3 serums, 2 creams, 2 face washes, and 3 masks, and whoa, whoa, I think you're clogging your pores, babe. Let's slow down. Let's bring it back to the basics, okay? I think a face wash, some sort of like toner, a serum, sunscreen, and a cream. That's all you need, in my opinion. But again, everyone is different. And when it comes to fashion, you guys know that I am a little bit of a fashion girly. Although I don't post a ton of fashion content, the reason for that is because I consistently doubt myself in terms of like the clothing that I have and the outfits that I create. I feel like they aren't, number one, aren't really on trend. And I feel like the outfits that are really on trend are the ones that really tend to get pushed to audiences and just do better on the algorithms. And that's not to say that everything I post, I want it to go viral, because that's not really the case. It's just more so like, is people gonna see me, right? Or it's just more so like, I feel like the more fashion content that I post, or if I go more down that route, I feel like I need to buy more clothes and more accessories and things like that. Knowing that I ain't even got the money for that, I have really honestly, I can say I probably left that in 2023, if I'm being honest. Like 2024, I did not shop at really any fast fashion sites like that. I didn't shop at Shein, Fashion Nova, anything like that, because I realized that I'm always disappointed when I buy clothes off of sites like that. They either don't fit well, the material's trash, it's deteriorating after I done washed it twice. Like, it's not worth it. But specifically, I just feel like online makes us think that everyone has the new stuff. Everyone has what's trending. Everyone has what's hot at the moment. And honestly, it's only a select few people that are really keeping up with all these trends, and it's the people that have the money to do so. So celebrities and influencers. Honestly, I'm proud of myself for getting completely out of that trap of consuming too much to the point where what I'm buying isn't even benefiting me, and I'm losing more money than I am just, than I am actually getting quality and value from the clothing that I'm buying. So the second thing that I left in 2024, baby, is setting goals that I know subconsciously I cannot reach yet. Yet. Now, hear me out on this one. I am all for setting goals and challenging yourself and setting goals that might be difficult and that you might be afraid of. I am all for doing that. However, there becomes a point where you cross a threshold to where the goals that you may be setting are so far out of reach because you aren't the person that you need to be to reach that goal yet, if that makes sense. So you might not have the discipline that you need to reach this goal. So, for example, I'm very real with myself. I like to be very, very realistic. I did not write down on my 2024 goals to get 100K subscribers on YouTube by the end of the year. The reason I did not do that is because I am still trying to work out a consistent schedule that works for me. I'm still trying to figure out my own health and energy levels and just different ways of working that suit me best so I can be the most productive and be more consistent online. So that is kind of what I mean. So recognizing where you are lacking and where you are lacking might be that one thing that you need to drive you forward. So for me, it is being disciplined. I often only film when I feel like it. And I noticed that the couple times where I have filmed and I didn't feel like it and I just got on the camera and started doing it, I realized that it actually felt good once I started doing it, much like exercising, right? So I realized that I do need to work on my routines better. I need to figure out a schedule that works for me and a consistency amount that works for me that I can maintain. So yeah, I did not set that goal for reaching a certain amount of subscribers on YouTube because I realized a certain amount of effort needs to be put in, and I personally don't feel like I'm putting in enough effort yet. So that's what I mean by not setting goals that you know you can't subconsciously reach. Another thing might be setting kind of, I don't want to sound mean, but silly goals like to travel to Europe by the end of the year, but you're, you know, living paycheck to paycheck. You have no budget plan, you're not saving. What sense does it make for you to be able to go to Europe by the end of the year? That's a little silly, right? I don't set out of reach goals like that because I know it's going to make me feel disappointed by the end. I like to set goals that I know I can reach, but are challenging enough that gives me that drive to have to put in the effort to actually reach those goals. Third thing that I left back in 2024 is idolizing celebrities and influencers and being too engaged with their life. Now, I want to preface this with I personally don't really do this. I don't really idolize any celebrities or influencers. But I noticed that a lot of people around me and just a lot of people in society as a whole do. And I find that troublesome. The reason I find that troublesome is when we idolize these celebrities and influencers, we begin to put them on a pedestal and think that they're above us, right? And that's simply just not the case. The amount of money you acquire, the amount of success and fame you acquire does not make you more superior. It's just, it just doesn't. But I also think it's detrimental because we're looking too much into their lives. And I think that it subconsciously starts a comparison cycle with how they're living compared to how you're living in your life. I also think that being too engaged with people's lives online is tied to escapism. We see escapism happening so much in our society today because of social media. I think that it shows up in terms of living almost through their life. And, even if it's not celebrities or influencers in particular, being online is a form of escapism and avoiding your life. So I think that recognizing that these celebrities and influencers are honestly just like us. They're human, they mess up, they make mistakes, they are not perfect. And that's it. I think that watching these celebrities and influencers can bring a sort of fulfillment in our lives. And actually, I said in the beginning of this that I don't do this. I do this with some influencers. There are maybe a couple influencers that I know that I, in a way, idolize, and I am very engaged in their life and I keep up with their life. And I recognize that it is a form of like fulfillment to me that I need to be finding elsewhere in my life. Y'all, okay. Number four, the fourth thing that I left in 2024 is taking things personally. I was the queen of taking things personally, okay? Someone can say something so general and I might relate to it in the slightest way and I think they're talking about me. Girl, chill out. Don't nobody care about you that much. No, on the real though, I think that, you know, things such as not getting invited, not getting a congratulations, don't take it personally. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't need to dismiss the fact as to why you didn't get invited, why you didn't get a congratulations, because I think there is always an underlying reason there. And it's not always that, oh, I forgot. Oh, I didn't see your post. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. You know what I mean? I don't think that you need to befriend anyone, but if it is a consistent thing that you notice that you're consistently not getting invited, you've accomplished these things, you post them online, you share them with people, and everyone knows, this person knows, but they don't congratulate you. It's a little sus, okay? But I'm talking if it's just a one-time thing, right? When, maybe someone genuinely forgot to invite you, or someone genuinely did not, recognize your accomplishment, they did not say congratulations, or also people commenting on things through their ignorance. So, for example, I've talked about this on my main channel a little bit, but there was this situation where I heard people talking about how they would never ride the bus and it's just so gross to ride the bus, and basically, like, in a way, talking down on people who take public transportation. And I was standing around, they weren't talking to me and I was not a part of the conversation, but I overheard it. And I took such offense to that because I thought they were talking directly to me. Now, they kind of were, because I am someone who takes public transportation, da da da. But in that moment, I had to realize, like, they're talking out of ignorance. They never had to take public transportation. They don't, recognize, they don't even know what it's like for real because they haven't even experienced it for real. So it's like people like to talk and comment out of ignorance a lot. And I realized that I just need to stop taking things so personally and just letting things go and letting people just say what they want. Because also things like not getting a text back from somebody that you might be talking to, don't take it personally. They probably got their own issues that they're going, their own issues and struggles that they're going through in their life, but also maybe even in their mind. A lot of people nowadays, when they're talking to people, they like to play these weird mind games, and that's probably most likely what's going on. They're trying to play these mind games and not text you back for a certain amount of time, and da da da. That's a them issue. It's not. There's nothing wrong with you. You didn't say anything wrong. That's a them problem. That's a them being immature problem. You know what I mean? So don't take stuff like that personally. Just don't. Especially when you know that you're a good person, you've shown up well, and you continue to show up well, you continue to improve yourself, and you did nothing wrong. We're not taking things personally in 2025. The fifth thing that I left in 2024 is comparing my lifestyle and my relationships to those that I see online. Now, you guys know I talk a little bit, well, maybe a lot of it about comparison and comparing yourself to people online and even to people in your real life. And I just want to say that comparison is a natural human thing. It's a natural thing that we do, and it will never, that's something that you can't necessarily get rid of. However, I think that limiting your time online will help that. And also just keeping in mind that the things that you are seeing online is most likely some of the most perfect pieces of people's lives. Now, I recognize that a lot of people, I feel like, in this generation compare their relationships to people online, specifically romantic relationships. And I feel like a lot of this has to do with us not actually even knowing what we want for ourselves in our relationships. We have to recognize that half these people that we're seeing going on trips and getting the gifts and this and that don't even actually have a good actual relationship with each other. They're just, showcasing the good parts online, which is the trips and the gifts and the this and the that. I recognize that when you're in a relationship, and I guess any type of relationship, friendship, romantic relationship, you have to recognize for yourself what you want in that relationship, what you feel like the other person should bring to the table. Don't go on social media looking up what should my boyfriend be like? How do I know if he is boyfriend material? I think a lot of that deep down inside, consciously or subconsciously whether that person is the one or not. Period. You do not have to find answers online to every single thing. And you know what? I'm going to add a bonus thing that I left in 2024, which is trying to go online to find answers to everything when I know the answers in me. I can feel it, but I don't want to actually admit it. You know what I mean? Or knowing what I need to do, but consistently consuming content to avoid what I actually need to do. 2024, we're leaving that there. Last and final thing that I undoubtedly left in 2024 is the timeline. The timeline of when I need to have certain things done, when certain things need to be accomplished. And, even when I was 10 years old, I remember thinking to when I am 21, like now, I feel like I need to accomplish such big, drastic things. And to have those certain bills, to have that certain schedule, to be that busy, to, have to be responsible for all these sorts of things, when it comes to running a business and things like that. I am not ready for that right now, which is another reason why I did not put on my 2025 goals to start a business, because I'm not ready to run a business. I like to be very realistic, and that also applies to my timeline now. I let go of this timeline. I didn't even push it back. I completely let go of it. Whenever things happen, that's when they happen. And while it is scary to not know when you're going to succeed or if you even will, I think holding on to a timeline will only disappoint you and hold you back from your true potential. Those are the things that I undoubtedly left in 2024, and I'm never looking back to those things. I completely cut my ties with those things so that I could become the best version of myself in 2025 and the years to come. Thank you for watching this episode of Diaries and OutKast podcast, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. I was counting up on a private flight. All this chrome on my body like a medieval knight. I was fucking up a sock on that purple